Turn off the metronome. All the levels up. Back again. Stop Snitching podcast.
Yes, sir.
What episode? Who knows?
I think it's like 14.
I think it's me. You going by B-Rock this week?
Of course, it's always B-Rock.
Well, the last one you said you were Brandon. You didn't know that?
It should have been B-Rock.
I approve.
That's where you should have stepped in and be like, nah, you're B-Rock. You feel me?
Now, once again, we have a guest. It's not important that he talks at this moment because we got to get into it.
Him, man.
Oh, you want to do the intro?
Look,
I've been working on this all week, but we'll listen to yours first. Go ahead.
We could both do it. It's cool. So, look, we got a legend in the building, man.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're watching this with your girl,
nah.
shoo her away.
We got a newly engaged legend in the building. I gotta make sure because I did the video. You know what I'm saying? Like I was there for the union. But this the big homie, man. As y'all will see through this podcast, he's like probably one of the biggest reasons why BCTV is even a thing. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be a lot of
big claim.
Yeah, big time, man. Like he's one of my mentors. He's a mentor, which we'll get into. And we'll just get into this whole life story, but just know, like, it's going to be a lot of gems dropped. We're talking about a real community leader in our presence, a real Siglerville legend in our presence.
Crazy.
They call him the mayor of Siglerville.
They do. I've heard it before.
As soon as he touches, like, 40 or something, you know what I'm saying? I can see that in his future.
But we got professional basketball to talk about. We got mentorship to talk about. We got local community, entrepreneurship, a little bit of everything. Definitely growing up, names on the banner. In high school as we go.
Sheesh.
I mean, this could be the biggest drop of all time. Man. But we want to welcome
Tyler Hines, man.
Yay!
Appreciate y'all for having me,
to the Stop Snitching podcast.
That's right.
Before we gotta do our tradition. He got the juice today.
Now, let me give the disclaimer. He's on a juice cleanse. We respect all cleanses, bro. Keep your chakras right, your soul's in line, everything is in check. Brandon and I are not on a juice cleanse. I'll say that. So
you know y'all drinks are looking amazing though. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
All right, y'all. Stop snitching on 3.
No, you gotta tell him.
Oh yeah.
Does he know?
When I hit 3, you're gonna stop snitching.
Okay.
And then we go in. All right, go ahead.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Stop snitching. Oh. I've got a little bit. And now we're locked in.
Little sippy sip.
So Brandon, start me off, bro.
For sure. Like I said, man, this is like my big homie, for real. You know, we don't really use that phrase too often. You know, I know it gets passed around a lot, but definitely like one of my real big homies. I forget when we met. You know, we never were able to nail that down. But I know that we got close like around 2017, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, about like 16, 17.
Yeah, 16, 17. And I met you through Jeff. Because if you remember, Jeff was doing video at that time for y'all. Like, he was y'all main video guy, technically.
Jeff,
which is crazy to think about.
Brandon definitely swooped in on that job.
It's crazy how it worked because, I mean, essentially, yes. But it wasn't like by force or like I meant to do it. It just like naturally happened like that.
Right.
But I initially met you through Jeff. At the time, I was still playing baseball. You were still overseas and stuff like that. But you saw it early. You were like, yo, like, you got a talent in doing this. So, like, he, like, brought me around his family. And now I'm, like, locked in with, like, everybody, pretty much. But we'll get into, like, all of that. But, you know, let's start it from the beginning. I wanted to do this, bro, because we were talking in our pre-show conversation. I was telling him a little bit about you, and then he was like, "Well, I have like."
I love how the pitch of the pre-show conversation. Sure. That's great.
And then he said something interesting. He was like, "Well, I have this. I have like my perspective of Tyler, which I think is dope because we all have social media, and it's always interesting to see like what people think of us just through social media. So I wanted to like."
My perspective.
Yeah, but if I didn't tell you anything about Tyler, you're peeping his social. What would you?
Well, that's what I thought is like it's interesting to get to meet someone who you definitely have a brand, which is awesome.
Appreciate that.
But also, like I said, in all honesty, growing up, I don't know, he was the basketball guy in my the high school before I was even there.
Right.
So like when Jasmine Martin was there, Brittany, Mike, like it was all kind of like chasing you or your brother's numbers, with all due respect, which is amazing.
Sure.
So like we all grow up, and then kind of like what Brandon was saying, it just kind of came back full circle, and he was like, "Oh, I'm working with Tyler. I'm working with Tyler. I'm working with Tyler." I'm like, "What do you mean you're working with Tyler? Like, what is that?" Because then from my perspective, you play basketball overseas, so you're playing professional basketball, which is amazing, great. But I was just like, how is this happening? And then whatever, we don't have to get into the nitty gritty. Brandon's locked in with you all over the place. I'm seeing all these things. I'm like, bro, are we working? Like, what's happening right now? So then, but then I always saw the basketball camps, the hats, the Just a Kid from Sicklerville, all those things, whether it's you, your brother, a collaboration, all those things, like not being able to pin it down, but knowing that to me, you were just like a face of community for like youth basketball in the Sicklerville, New Jersey area, which is where we all grew up.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair to say?
Yeah, of course.
Nah, that's
lit.
lit.
That's dope,
So
man.
I wanted to
Appreciate
start
that.
because I think that people are very, very interested. I was talking with Brandon about this. The goal of this is to not talk about you as a professional basketball player. I think everybody can lock in on that, unless however much you want to go into
No,
is
we talk about
fine.
anything.
I just want to give it
Yeah.
perspective a little bit.
Maybe just like give us a brief synopsis of like your basketball career, because
Yeah.
ultimately your career and ultimately how you ended up retiring ended up getting you to this point where you're
Right.
at now. So like just give people like a quick rundown of like, you know, what you've been able to do.
Okay. All right. So, you know, we all went to Timber Creek. Shout out to the Creek. You know, we made some great grads.
For sure.
But, you
Yo,
know,
show Mr. Saunders this.
yeah, I will.
Okay,
I
all right,
will.
do it.
Shout out to Mr. Saunders,
Got
too. But, no, it's just amazing that the area that we've been able to grow up in and have those resources and be able to do certain things. You know, I was able to play basketball at Timber Creek for 4 years. You know, was able to win the first championship there and, you know, follow my brother's footsteps and, you know, a lot of other players that were before me. From there, you know, I was very grateful and blessed to get a scholarship to Maryland Eastern Shore. For anybody that doesn't know what it is, it's a small HBCU right by Ocean City, Maryland. Great school. I learned a lot there. Had a decent career. That's where I kind of fell for my love of like journalism, English, radio production, TV production, all that type of stuff. So no, it was a lot of fun. And then, you know, when people graduate, they want to go pro. And then my brother, Kyle, was already playing in Europe. So I was, you know, able to kind of go over there and start my own career. And, you know, the stories, if y'all want to get deep into that, is it's crazy by itself. Really crazy by itself. But I played in Europe for about, I want to say like 6.5 years.
Wow.
It was dope. Played in Greece, Germany, Austria, Cyprus, Macedonia, which is like right by Serbia, Puerto Rico for a little bit. I feel like I'm missing one. Might be.
But like a
Yeah.
solid 6.5 years of going out there.
Yeah, and it was amazing, especially after, you know, my first year playing in Greece. Got a chance to play against my brother. He was playing on the top team in Europe at the time.
Word?
Yeah, so we played against each
Oh,
other.
man, that's amazing.
Really dope, really dope. Had a lot of fun. No, but I got a chance to play against a lot of competition. My point guard in Greece was Smush Parker at the time that, you know, played for the Lakers.
Kobe hated him.
Yeah, he definitely hated him. Definitely hated him. But shout out to Smush, though. You know, great guy. Jason Capono, a bunch of other guys that were just incredible talents. And me coming from a small town, also from a small, you know, college and university, and then now being in a big country playing against big talent, you know, it was life changing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talk to me about the college decision? Was it back and forth at all? Was the HBCU very important to you, or was that just a piece of the pie that just presented itself?
So it's crazy. Coming out, I first committed to VCU. I committed to VCU my junior year. And
really? I didn't know that either.
A lot of people don't know. So I committed to go to VCU my junior year. VCU had a player by name of Eric Maynor. VCU played against Duke. I can't remember what day it was. It was like on a random, like Thursday or something like that. VCU beat Duke, and Eric Maynor hit the game winning shot. The next day in school, the coach calls Coach Saunders and says, we're going to change our whole entire recruiting class. We just beat Duke, and I was a 3-star. You know, he was like, we're going to start going after 4 and 5 stars now.
Oh, wow.
You know, gave away my scholarship, and, you know, that's when I kind of, you know, lost it from there. And then I wanted to go kind of like down south, but still be up north, not like too far. So Maryland was like perfect for me. So I first committed to my second commitment was Maryland, Baltimore County. So it's a small D1 school right outside of Baltimore, and you know, really real dope. Fell in love with the coach and all that, and the coach hits me up right when I was about to sign and said, "Hey, I'm about to leave and go to Maryland Eastern Shore." He's like, "You know anything about HBCU?" I said, "No, not at all." He said, "All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna book you a trip to come up with you and your mom, and then go from there." I went on a visit, absolutely amazing, changed my life. And I said,
Wow.
yeah, where do I sign that?
Next 4 years.
Yeah, next 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's I don't know. I appreciate that
Yeah, I did.
to
There's a
just
lot of
show
I
that
didn't
like
know.
at the end of the day, it's a business, right?
Yeah, definitely
like
a business.
they can love you, but as soon as someone makes one
Mm-hmm.
game-winning shot, one victory,
Yep.
it can change the entire trajectory of a program for the whole year.
Oh,
And they're
for
willing
sure.
to double down on that.
Right. There's a
everything.
picture of me, and I have it somewhere. And maybe it might be at my dad's house. There's a picture of me with like a VCU shirt and hat on, in the Courier
So
Post.
he's
And
fully
like I was really supposed to go.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. But it worked out because you ended up where you were supposed to end up.
Oh,
and
definitely.
you ended up making a mark at Maryland Eastern Shore.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Sure. Like you definitely, just like you did at Timber Creek, you were able to leave a legacy there,
Yeah.
make some lifelong friends.
Definitely.
You know, it would have been dope for you to go to VCU.
Nah, I
especially
was
during
hyped,
that
man.
time.
Yeah,
I was gonna
that
They
say.
were like,
They definitely got the name
from
for
what I
sure.
remember, they were like, I think that's when Shaka Smart was still there.
Yeah, they had somebody. It was named Anthony Grant. And He was
Okay.
actually the coach. He left VCU to go to Alabama, and I think he left Alabama. He was actually assistant coach for OKC for a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then Shaka Smart came after he
Because
left.
that's when they were like,
Yeah,
they
they
were
were
like the March Madness darlings
Yeah.
at that time. Like they were one of those Cinderella stories making a run, and now they're like big time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean that, like I said, that led you to Maryland Eastern Shore. You scored 1,000 there, right?
I didn't score
You
a
didn't score
thousand.
1,000?
No, I did.
But you
My
were like
first.
one
I
of
was
the-
close though.
Yeah, you
I was
were like
close.
still like you still were able to leave your mark
Mhm.
and do your thing, and then obviously you go overseas and you have a great career. Not many people can say that they played 6 years professionally in any.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
definitely
like
fortunate.
6 years overseas. What does that look like for you, like work-life balance-wise? Are you there 9 months out of the year?
Yeah, 9 months out the year.
Is it as glamorous as it seems? Like, did you really love
I
it?
was fortunate enough to play in some very good countries and on some good teams.
I was gonna say your list of places you played. Yeah, I would live in
solid.
Greece. That sounds
Yeah,
nice.
for sure,
for
for
sure.
sure.
And I'm sure the American dollar there is going very far.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So I was able to play in some very good leagues, great teams, be around some great people. So it made my transition easy. Kyle was over there playing for a while, so I got a chance to learn a lot from him. And I built certain other relationships with people that were playing over there. So, all that was really cool. I just think the one thing I was doing while I was playing, and it's crazy, I just said this to my fiance, I was like, I wasn't enjoying the moment. As humans, we're so focused on what's next. And we just recently got engaged, like Brandon said, in October. And I was like, yo, let's just enjoy engagement. And I wish that's one of the things I did while I was playing. Like, I just enjoy being here. Any team I was signed with, I was like, you know what, let's focus on like building for the next contract, which is cool, but like let's focus on this team right now. So that's one of the things I think that kind of messed
But
with
also,
my career a little bit.
it's got to be pretty cutthroat, though,
Yeah.
right? Like I understand that completely. Like, it's hard for you to enjoy some. I feel like most athletes probably feel that way. It's like you can sign a 12-year deal in baseball now, but
Right.
the second that you have 2-3 years bad, it's
Right.
over.
So,
Like,
right,
they can just
find
walk
that
away
food,
from you,
right.
trade you, your whole life changes. So
Very true.
it's like a very like hyper-focused
Yeah.
sort of mentality.
Definitely.
And it's 24/7, right?
Definitely.
Like,
Yeah,
there's no
it's
time
crazy.
off.
Traveling, 2 days for practice. I've been in, I got some of the craziest stories ever, man. Like, I got some crazy stories.
Can you give us one good
Yeah, I was
story
gonna
from
say,
being
like, what's one
overseas?
of-
Something that you'd want to share?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll give y'all two. So a lot of people don't know this. This
Ooh, we getting
is
two.
a gym. This is a gym. So I was originally going to sign with a second division team in Germany coming out of college. Kyle hit me up. It's like, it's this team in Greece right now called Pedesteti. They're known.
I'm sorry, for full context, your brother is Kyle Hines.
Yeah,
he plays in Russia still right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Plays in
look him
Italy
up.
I just want to
now.
make sure anybody who's listening,
Yeah,
it's
just
Kyle.
look him up.
Yeah.
Got it.
You'll see some stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Big Bro. We'll get to that. But he hit me up and was just like, yo, this team in Greece that called Pedesteti. They're EuroLeague legends. Even though they're not in the EuroLeague no more, they have a lot of history behind them, but they're looking for players. And, they have a couple people that's going to be trying out and stuff like that. And it's going to be top guys. But if you want, we can try to get a tryout going. So the agent sent me all the information. I signed some stuff and all that. So when I first went to Greece, I didn't sign. I was there like on a tryout. And when I tell you, that's the first time like I'm there playing against people that like I'm watching on TV, people from Duke, people from Oklahoma, people from Texas, people from this, and I'm like this guy that just went to Maryland Eastern Shore, and there were I think 2 spots that were open, and I had to make one of the spots. And from there, I remember walking into the locker room. I had to fly from Philly to Greece, which is almost like a 9-10 hour flight. They picked me up from the airport. I'm thinking I'm about to go to sleep. I'm jet lagged and all this.
To the court.
They made me go right to the court.
What?
Right to the court. And I remember walking. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh my God!
And I remember walking into the locker room.
I've done that flight.
Yeah,
it's ass.
Yeah, it's ass.
No, that's
it
not. You're, for everybody who doesn't know, if you're not flying first class to Europe, don't talk to me about. Oh, it's so fun. Mm-hmm. No, there's a day and a half after that where you're like, oh.
Especially if you're 6'7", man. if you don't got an exit row.
I'm 5'10" and it's not fun.
For sure.
No sir.
For sure.
Damn. So they pick you up, you go straight to the court.
Pick me up, go straight to the court. But it was all love when I got there. Kyle was at practice, so I didn't get a chance to see him right away. So I'm just hungry. I'm like, dang, what's up? So they take me right to the locker room. I see the locker room. I'm like, guys speaking a different language. Just like a big culture shock. Some guys in there naked, like some of the older players in there, like just sitting there naked having a conversation. I'm like, yo, what is going on? So I see like a nice little like cubby area. Got my name like with like tape over it. And I got my practice uniform and all that. I get dressed and then I see one of my guys, I used to actually watch him play on TV, Verdell Jones. He went to the University of Indiana. Shout out to Verdell. My guy, Darren Williams, went to the University of Illinois, Chicago. And my other guy, Dwight Thorne, he was the starting point guard for Colorado, University of Colorado for a couple of times. So they were like the only Americans there at the time. They were going to sign 2 more Americans. And kind of guys I kind of like latched onto. We got a chance to, we were all rookies. We were all, trying to, be close and all that. And I just remember like just zoning out, man. I just zoned out and just did everything I was supposed to do, man. Just found my role and just worked extremely hard. And I remember.
So you just killed the tryout?
Yeah, I got there in August. I didn't actually sign with the team until like the end of September, and I actually have the picture when I signed the team. And I remember I started crying, bro. Called my mom, called everybody, and I was just like, I can't believe I signed. Like in my first game.
That's a huge moment.
Amazing,
like you
bro.
work your whole life.
Yeah.
To get to that moment, all the hills you and Kyle used to run.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying?
But also, like, for you to be, I think it's one thing, well, I don't know how confident you are as a person. It seems like you're very humble to, like, be in that moment. But, like, you come from a situation where you work your ass off to get to that point. But in that moment, it seems fair to say you're surrounded by people who have been number one. They have never been around someone else who's been better than them until they're in that moment. And now you're with every other best person they've ever been around. Yes. And it's like, do you climb to that moment? Can you be better than them? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm so curious about this, right? Like, I'm about to walk into a tough day, a big moment. Like, where do you pump yourself up? Like, what do you say to yourself to get yourself in that mentality? Because I know you work with a lot of kids, right? Like, every moment is so important. What do you do? How do you get yourself locked in?
Be yourself. Be yourself and don't look back. Like, embrace this moment. Join the moment. And one of my favorite songs is by Joe Budden. Shout out to Joe.
We'll get you on there next. Stuck in the moment.
It's just a song that I just lock into and I listen to, and just the stuff that he's saying. So that's what I tried to do, man. And I went there and zoned out, did what I had to do, and rest was history.
Nah, that's incredible. Yeah. Is that the team where you ended up playing Kyle's team?
Yep.
So talk about that moment. I know you talked about it before, but like, talk about that feeling of you and your brother growing up in Circleville. Kyle makes it. You look up to him your whole life. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Kyle's already a legend. He's already established himself. But your little bro coming in, he helped you get on this team. But now it's time to go at him.
Right.
Like, what is that moment?
Are you and Kyle? Do you play the same position?
Yeah, we play the same position.
Okay.
Yep. So everybody that knows, Kyle is just like that. That's my heart. That's like that's my guy. Like, just seeing everything that he accomplished, seeing how hard he worked. I remember watching this guy. GTBBL, like,
jeez,
terrible.
Just so everyone knows, I played in GTBBL too. Okay, let me get my respect.
Like, he grinds so hard to get to where he's at, and I just remember this fast forward time. We all went to Mullen, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, well,
of course, A&A Mullen Middle School.
So Kyle, just like the Michael Jordan story, he got cut his 8th grade year. But just seeing how hard he worked that summer, he didn't make no excuses. He didn't blame nobody. To see how hard he worked that summer was like, and I was right there with him. just like changed forever, like changed his mindset, changed his perspective. So anything and everything he tried to do, I tried to take that mindset and was like, I'm gonna apply it to myself. Now, just to be honest, and this for any listeners that's out there, one of the things I struggled with my first year of high school was walking in college footsteps. I was really, really like trying to be him and not be myself. Until it was one game, I think we played against Camden Catholic. I had a pretty good game. And Coach Saunders said to me, he's like, yo, you had 15 rebounds. Be yourself. You're Tyler Hines. You're not Kyle Hines. And that, that's just stuck with me throughout my whole entire career. And, from there, I just, looked at him, being able to take, advice from him and watch his work ethic and also just be grateful. And just, one of the things I pitched to the kids, like, if we can do it, y'all can do it too. Only thing that we did, we just worked extremely hard and took advantage of our resources. So now being on that level of, us working out against each other, the long, hard days running the hills, days we out there throwing up, crying. We running when it's 100 degrees outside, 30 degrees, 20 degrees outside, like just really getting after this work. So then when it's jump ball, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. And I'm like, yo, it's game
man,
time.
this is like a movie, bro.
Right.
You do jump all up against each other, of course.
Well, we didn't do jump ball against each other, but, we were looking at each other.
Okay.
Like when jump ball was about to happen.
We about to sell this to someone.
No, we will. We'll get that for the movie.
Yes.
That's a moment I'm sure y'all dreamed of that.
Man, it was crazy. So,
and I will say, if no one knows who Mr. Saunders is, those words that you said are far more impactful when you hear it out of his mouth.
For sure.
That resonates, hits your fucking soul,
Right.
and just goes up and down
he
through
said,
your body.
Be Tyler Hines. You be Tyler Hines. You don't be nobody else. You be Tyler Hines. That's exactly
And then in that moment, you're like, yeah, of course, there's no other option.
Exactly.
I must do this right now.
Exactly. So, being able to just play against each other and compete and just be on that high level, I also felt like, damn, I could do it too. And I arrived. But also was just like, this is a moment, like, that's for my family, that's for people that's watching, just everybody. And it was crazy. A lot of people don't know this either. So in the game, there was me and Kyle that were brothers. There was AC Law that played at Texas A&M. He's a legend. And his cousin that played at University of Colorado. We were on the same team. And there were 2 Greek brothers that played on the same team.
Oh, wow.
So there were a total of 6 family members. This was not planned. 6 family members that played in one game. And supposedly it's supposed to be a world record. It's supposed to be a greatest world record.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
it's supposed to
different.
be.
Wait, you were all on the same team, or
Nah,
between the
playing
two?
it.
Between the two, it was a total of 6 of us. It was 3 on each team.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Man.
So they ended up beating us, but I had a good game. I had like 11 points, I think like 7, 8 rebounds and all that. Kyle played well, but it's crazy. There's actually a picture of us. I'm gonna show you. That,
Send it to Brandon so he can throw it up at this point.
It's actually dope, man. It's crazy because I just got this picture tatted on me.
Oh, where?
Yeah,
that's
so
what's
it's
up.
this pic right here. I don't know if y'all can see it.
Yeah.
So it's like when it was like during the game, my dad screenshot it, and it was like me and Kyle like being side by side with our jerseys on.
Oh,
So,
yes. Yeah, send it to Brandon, and then he'll throw it up so everyone
Yeah,
can see it. That's an amazing
definitely
picture.
will. And then I got this tatted on me.
Oh, damn, that's hard.
You just got that?
I just got it like 2 days ago.
That's hard.
Yeah, on my chest.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's amazing,
So
bro.
shout out to my guy Chris Shockley, man. He's
Shout
a
out,
beast,
man.
man.
That's
So he's the
awesome.
one that tatted it for me.
That's
And that was just like such a special moment for me and my family. So
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, I didn't know. Like, I knew they played against each other, but I didn't know the total backstory of
Yeah.
Well, can you? Sorry, because I feel like this is like the last thing that I really want to know. To make, you're gonna have a lot of aspiring kids watching this, right?
Right.
To make it is one thing. To provide for yourself is another thing, right? Like, was the Greek team, was that the one where you signed the contract? You were like, okay, I can live off of this.
So
like,
starting,
I can do that.
So that's another story behind that too.
Okay.
So I had to kind of bet on myself because I could have made more money with the 2nd Division Germany team.
Really?
But this team was a bigger team. It was 3 EuroLeague teams in the league. It was a team for like 15 teams. 3 of the teams were EuroLeague teams. They have a Euro Cup, which is another top league. So I was playing against some great competition. So Kyle was like, you probably will make less money and your resources will be a little bit different. But if you get the right film and you do what you got to do, you're going to have an amazing season.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to get film and be able to sign somewhere else and get that money right back. So from there, it was crazy because, and B knows this story, that Mike is crazy. Mike, my other best friend Ron, and my other boy Harp, all came out to visit me. Kyle had a game in London. We went to the game, and then I came back. They were chilling with me in Greece. I took Mike and them to the airport, said bye to them. I had to go right to practice. Mike and them seen me play at practice before I dropped them off. They're like, yo, bro, you killing this and this. I never seen you play like this before. Like, you, like, I could really tell you've been playing against, like, pros. Like, you're, like, doing everything. They kept saying, like you're, like, moving like Lamar Odom. I'm, like, handling the ball. I'm doing everything. Like, it was crazy. But in practice, I came down on my teammate's foot and tore my Achilles. And from there, it was crazy because Kobe tore his Achilles, I want to say, in March. And I remember reading up about it. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. They're saying this only happens to, like, older players and stuff like that. I come down and do it 2 months later.
Fuck. You tore your Achilles too, right?
Nah, ACL.
Oh, ACL. Sheesh.
Achilles
no.
Well, Achilles is the killer, right?
Yeah,
that's like the biggest thing, toughest one to come back
for
from,
sure,
right?
For sure. And, you know, from there, you know, it humbled me a lot. It really helped me out. But that's where, and I don't know if you guys want to get into this later or now, but that's where, you know, becoming a mentor and everything else kind of opened up my eyes.
Oh, man. How much time we got?
You kidding me? You pay this guy to do a transition like that?
Nah,
that's
man,
unbelievable. Oh, my
you,
God.
bro.
I got to figure this out
I'll
myself.
say this, disclaimer,
Jesus.
though. It's crazy to think
That's
because, like, you remember we did our vlog series back in the day, and I remember we were at his apartment, and, like, he wouldn't be able to, like, say what he needed to say in front of the camera, so to hear him, like, talk now is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, bro, you know, just so they know, I was saying that before, and I was like, this is going to be really nice, like, talking to someone who has, like, media training. This is great.
Bro.
And he's like, I'm not good at this. I'm like, you're great at this, bro. You're great at this. As a side note, you know Quan Jackson?
Quan Jackson.
Are you cool? My friend Kim is engaged to Quan. I thought Quan is cool with Ron. And Ron is cool.
Ron know everybody.
Yeah, Ron know everybody though. But
okay.
I'll probably say if you show me a picture of Quan, I'll probably know who he is.
No, I gotta know. Because you guys were maybe, unless there's another Ron, because Kim knew you. Because you worked with Ron. And I thought. Hold on.
And Ron lives. He lived right down the street. He lived in Raintree. He lived in the same neighborhood as Joelle.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. It's this is her fiance.
Man, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, hold on. This is Quan. You know him? Mm-mm. Maybe not. Okay, never mind.
You might know Ron. Though.
He definitely does know Ron. If you're talking about the same Ron, that's why
Ron.
Whenever they have all been in the same circle, that's why she brings you up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought that she just saw us like.
Because you've worked with Ron before, right?
I mean,
or in that circle of people.
Yeah, I think that was around TVT time.
Yeah.
Like Ron may have posted something that I did. And then she may have checked out the page.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah. When he said that, I was like, what? Everyone's in the same world, bro. Stop snitching.
Cool. So you were talking about the Achilles injury. And obviously I didn't know because we had talked about this before. But I didn't know it was actually what inspired you to become a mentor. So, like, talk about obviously what it was like for you mentally and physically going through the injury. But then how did it allow you to tap into that mentorship side of you that you embrace so much now?
So it's crazy. One of the things I always say to the kids that I deal with right now is life is full circle. And I really see full circle moments every single day. So I'm going to back up a little bit. When I was in seventh grade, I really was losing myself, really between 5th grade and 7th grade. My parents got a divorce. And in my family, that was, like, weird. Like, everybody stayed with each other and all that. And my older brother, Kyle, you know, he was the one that kind of understood everything. My sister was too young to understand. And then for me, I was the one that was confused. So when I was going through this whole entire thing, bro, I was, like, really being out there, hanging around the wrong crowd, doing a bunch of stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. Like, a teacher at Mullen would hand me a test. I would write my name, write 1, 2, 3, or, like, write whatever on the Scantron and hand it in and get an F's on purpose. There was a guy named Mr. Latirzo, 7th grade. He wasn't even my teacher. He's the one that saved my life. He's the one I tell people all the time. He's the one on a random day, just like, yo, I see you walking around the hallways every day. If there's anything you ever have a problem with, come talk to me. And I'm like, why would this random guy say this? And I'm like, I'm 6'2" at the time. Everybody's pulling at me for basketball.
You were 6'2".
I was 6'2" in 7th grade.
In the 7th
grade, yeah. Yep.
Fuck.
So everybody's pulling at me for basketball. I want you to say, I want you to do this. I'm like, he probably has, like, some type of ulterior motive. I remember that night, 2 crazy things happened. And like if something that happened with my mom with the bills, all that type of stuff, and she just like lost it, man. She was just like so upset. And that was after a conversation, that was the first time I seen like my mom like sacrifice her well-being for me. And I was just like, yo, this is real. So I went to school the next day, seen Mr. Latirzo, talked to him. I was like, yo, I had this conversation with my mom. I don't like this person I'm being right now. I want to change. What can you help me do? And he was like, I just need you to stay after school with me every single day. So it didn't matter if it was a Monday or a Friday. I stayed after school with him every single day till 5 o'clock. Made sure my homework was done. Made sure, my family's having certain other problems. He would buy me. At the time, we was wearing white tees in school, so he would buy me white tees. He it's crazy. He made a deal with my barber. He found out who my barber was. Barber goes by the name of Dirty. Shout out to my guy Dirty. He made a deal with him because they were trying to do certain things to motivate me. And he was like, Tyler, if you get good grades and do what you gotta do, I'll make sure you don't gotta pay for haircuts. Now he said that when I was in 7th grade. I'm 30 years old. I still don't pay for haircuts.
Crazy.
So it's crazy.
He still pays for your haircut?
Yeah, man. My barber doesn't charge me for my haircuts because like he's like, as long as you're doing right, as long as you're doing what you gotta do, you get free haircuts on me.
Dude.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So it was crazy.
That's so
and Mr.
awesome.
Latirzo like kind of connected that, and that was just a way for him to keep me motivated and all that. So
and loyalty too.
Yeah, loyalty too. So he's been like an uncle to me. I still talk to Mr. Latirzo to this day. Helps me out with a lot of different things. So real quick, a full circle moment for me. When I graduated from Mullen, I was awarded the Most Improved Student Award, and Mr. Latirzo handed me the award. When at graduation, he said 2 things to me. He said, I want you to give back. He said 3 things. I want you to give back, I want you to mentor, and then I want you to always get good grades. So from when I graduated at Mullen, all through college, nothing but A's and B's, nothing but honor roll, dean's list, all that, because I wanted to represent him and my family and make sure, he took the time to change my life. Now I got to take the time to represent him and change other people's lives and stuff like that. So it's just stuck with me forever, man. And that's what kind of gave me that motivation to always, be the type of person I am. And then, now fast forward time, I'm going into Greece. When you're playing basketball and you have that professional tag on you and people are seeing your picture, this was way before social media was really popping with Instagram. People were just seeing what we got going on. So like, man, I got everybody out the woodworks hitting me up, man, proud of you, this and this, everybody, my friend, this and this. The moment I tore my Achilles, bro, my whole life changed.
Just the opposite of everything that was happening?
I started seeing the people that were closest to me change. I started seeing, I was in a relationship at the time, 4-year relationship, 3-year relationship, like in high school. College, and me and her broke up. I ain't gonna get into details about that, but it was just real heavy. So I just started seeing a lot of different changes, and I remember the most humble thing that ever happened to me. I was in the Wawa right by the crib and all that, right before you get on 42, and every time somebody would see me, they'd be like, "What's up, Tyler? You play basketball, you professional basketball player, this and this." And from there, when I was hurt, I couldn't really do anything. And I couldn't really train. I couldn't do anything else. So from there, I wanted to take my mind off the game. So talking to Sandy, she's like, "How about you become a substitute teacher?" I'm like, okay.
Hey,
Why not?
I've also done that job.
Yeah.
Not an easy job.
Exactly. It's not an easy job.
No.
So it's weird because people are
well, not if you care.
Exactly.
Yeah, not if you care.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's crazy because people are looking at me like they know who I am a little bit. They're like, we heard about him. Why is he here? Why is he substitute teaching? Blah, blah, blah. And then bad enough, I'm in school with crutches on, with a boot and all that. So everybody's looking at me like, what's going on? So going back to the story, I remember being in the Wawa and somebody was just like, "Hey, you're Tyler Hines, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And like, "Yeah, you're my substitute teacher." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I was like, I'm known as like a basketball player.
You're like, bro, I'm just trying to get my hoagie right now. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, yo, that really humbled me. And then from there, I kind of started, falling in love with like so many different students and started like hearing different stories and all that. And they're asking me for advice and asking me for help. And that's how the whole mentoring thing got started.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of students that played on the basketball team or other athletes or even outside of kids that play sports that would come ask me for my advice, and it was really crazy, and that's still with me for a long time. And then from there, I got better. My training was crazy at the time, bro. Like when I got cleared to do everything, I got back within like I want to say 6-7 months.
You were playing basketball 6
I was
months
dunking
after you tore your Achilles?
Yeah, I was dunking at 7 months, bro.
Different.
What?
Yeah, I was dunking at 7 months. So,
Isn't Achilles like at least a year?
It's used to like 9 months to a year.
And that's like you're ready to start
Yeah.
training.
Yep. So it was crazy
What?
that like all that. I'm back like
that is
dunking,
different.
playing. So one of my
By the
old
way,
trainers,
same way about you too.
Yeah.
ACL, MCL, you both did that in half the amount of time that you're playing.
Because, like, you know, you hear all the negativity and the doubters, and you may even doubt yourself sometimes.
Oh,
You know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying?
For
So
sure.
all that motivates you. Like, because, like, as a competitor, it's like, I can't go out like this.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even though it's a tough injury, it's like, I can't, I gotta find a way to get better from this. And usually people do get better because you learn more about your body.
For
You
sure.
learn how to take care of it more. And then
I'm
just
juicing
having
now.
time. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
for
And
real.
then having time away from the game, you learn the game more.
Oh, for sure.
Like when I got hurt, I learned so much more about baseball. I used to just play,
Mhm.
but that's when I really learned the game. Like, oh, that's why you do this. This is how you prepare.
Mhm.
This is how you approach the game. Then probably same thing with basketball. Just sitting back, not being able to do nothing. It'll make you like learn
For
what
sure.
you really need to.
Well, you
start
both
doing.
have a tremendous amount of natural talent
Yeah.
to play. So,
Right.
like, you're normally better than most people at the thing anyway.
But
But it's
once
true.
you-
Brandon used to say that to me.
Mhm.
I would see him play. I'd be like, well, that was great. How'd you do that? Did you
Right.
prepare? He's like, I don't know, man. The ball came and then I hit it far.
Right.
And then it went and that was it. I was like, that's it? He's like, I'm not going to overthink it. If it's
Right.
working, I'm going to keep going. But
That's the best way to do it.
can you talk about the grades thing? Is interesting to me, like, same way. You know, grades, education, and my family, like,
First.
I'm sure it sounds the same for you. Like, you didn't have good grades, you're not doing nothing. Nothing else is happening
Yeah.
because you have no future based on that.
Exactly.
Just talk to me about, like, the compounding effect, grades as a metaphor for your work ethic going forward. Like, I think young kids think about this, like, well, it's middle school. My grades in 7th grade don't matter.
Right.
Right? Like, my grades in 8th grade don't matter. Like, as long as I'm doing well in high school, I'll do okay in college. But it sounds like the way that you're talking about yourself at 14, 15 years old, I mean, that's a tremendous amount of consciousness and awareness about, for you to pull yourself out of that and say, I want to do better, and then apply all that forward. Do you talk to kids about that in your mentorship?
Yeah,
Like how you can't just start one thing. It's you know, your grades lead to work ethic, which leads to X, Y, and Z, and you keep going off of that.
Yeah, definitely. I tell kids a lot of times, and this is anybody, that you have to build a foundation. And you also have to, while you're building that foundation, you have to understand that, like, everything is connected. So by you getting good grades now, it's going to help you out in the long run, just as a person, just as you carry yourself, your goals, your motives, your core values, just everything. Like, a lot of people don't understand, even for Kyle and I remember my mom sitting down talking to me when I was in 7th grade, my mom and dad, when they weren't together and stuff. They told me and Kyle, was like, you're not going to the Army. If you don't get a scholarship, either academic or athletic, you're not going to college. We're not taking out any loans or nothing like that. So if your teammates are playing around not working hard, that should motivate y'all to really bust ass and be a leader. If the same thing in school, like, this is a job for y'all. Just like we go to work every single day, this is a job for y'all. And that stuck with us. And that's where, like, in my 4 years and, you know, after, you know, Mr. Tirzlo helping out and the rest of my family, you know, present me with those core values, I was like, it's only right. So I just try to tell the kids that, yo, this is what I went through, but this is still helping me from day one. Like, I'm in school right now getting my master's. I just finished, you know, my first semester with a 4.0.
Oh, congrats, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
That's awesome.
you know, I'm just trying to keep it going. I'm very hard on myself. You guys, my fiance, like, it's days where I'm so mad and pissed off at myself, I'm tearing up. I'm in my office tearing up. So, you know, I try to make it relatable like that.
Well, going back to school,
Yeah.
you don't realize when you're in that school mode, you're always used to it. Then you get back to school, you're like,
Yeah.
everything
was
I do
tough.
has a grade.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me I was average this day? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I worked, I did this, I did that. It's like, well, that doesn't matter because your
Exactly.
work still was not up to par.
Yeah.
So, sorry, because I just want to know, like, from the mentorship side. Once again, from the outside looking in, is it a company? Like, what is the mentorship, like, official status?
Got you. So I wanted to create something for kids to understand, like, where we're from is cool. You know, growing up, we had so many kids, and shout out to Camden, and shout out to Philly, shout out to New York. You know, those are the three major cities and stuff that's around us. And, you know, kids growing up, they want to be from the hood, they want to be from these places. But I always was like, yo, like, we have so many great resources here in Sicklerville. There's so many great people in Gloucester Township, Sicklerville area that are doing great things. So I wanted kids to understand, like, it's cool to be from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, respect that your parents brought you here or your guardian brought you here to help you get to where you're at to this day. So I created, nonprofit organization called Just a Kid from Sicklerville. And it was so many things that I was connected with, but it started super small, man. I used to just mentor about 4 or 5 kids and then consistently grow from 5 to 10 to 20 to hundreds of kids. And now I get a chance to work with so many different school districts. I think I just hit like my 24th school my 24th school that I work with. And I also partner with Camden County.
Bro, you told me like 10. Yeah. 24?
24.
Well, break that
hold
down.
On. That's a lot. That's a lot of schools.
Because my thing is, we hear the word mentor our whole lives, and some people, again, it's one of those terms that just gets passed around. Like, I had this mentor. Like, being a mentor, you really have to be in the trenches with these kids. But you've taken it to the next level, which is I think it's extraordinary because you've turned it into a business in the best way possible. Not saying that you're doing it to make money, but I believe when you're good at something, you also should get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, talk about the mindset or the thinking behind that, because a lot of people are mentors, but not a lot of people can say that they've put their specific mentorship program in 24 schools across a district you grew up in. So, talk about how that all came about.
Man, it was just so crazy. Just going back to a full life circle moment. I got denied a lot, bro. I had this program created back in 2013, 2014, but a lot of schools, a lot of people I told the idea, they were like, man, this is not going to work. This is not, because what are you, a guidance counselor? This is not going to work. This is not good. How are you going to mentor kids? Did you go to school for this? Did you do that? I'm like, no. What do you know? I'm like, I know the things I went through, and I also know these kids, what they're going through, and they need somebody to talk to. I know how I wasn't always honest with my parents, how I didn't always open up, how sometimes you just need that extra lift, to get you to where you want to be. And the formula for me has always been plain and simple. It's just what do you want? If you picture yourself in the kids' shoes, what do you want so you can help them out and get to where they need to be? And that's basically what I did, man. I created the nonprofit, and it's grown. I got a chance to, like I said, be in 24 different schools. And then from there, I was granted, through Coach Saunders, Mr. Saunders, that I love your idea and I love what you're doing for the school. Let's set up a meeting with the superintendent and try to see if we can bring this into the schools. And from there, they loved it. I presented them this whole entire presentation. I was, scared, man.
I was going to say,
it was tough.
Yeah, man.
But, they loved it. First year, I got a chance to work with all 3 schools, Timber Creek, Triton, and Highland. I had to be in the trenches, bro, from, working with kids that got the 4.0s because they deal with a certain type of anxiety and drama and trauma, to the at-risk kids, to the kids that are student athletes, to, the kids that are just, in the BD part, everything. I just had to deal with so many different genres of kids, and, it made me appreciate them, but also show me that, I need this. And if I do this the right way, the kids need this. And if we do this the right way, this could be big and it could be something new. To help them out, especially for, the African American kids and the minority kids, our area, that's not really that many that look like us in school and stuff like that. And they kind of need, somebody they can relate to. And I know for us, Brandon, it was more Mr. Saunders, it kind of was like that for us. So
sure.
That's what my goal was long term. I'm going into my 3rd year working with Black Horse Pike School District. I work with Pennsauken, Overbrook, Winslow, all the schools there.
Is this just you? Do you have
me.
A team?
Just me right now.
You're in all of these schools with all of these kids.
Yeah. Yep.
How are you doing that during the pandemic?
Thank God for Zoom, Google Classroom, FaceTime. This is my 3rd year also working with Camden County. So I work with a lot of their students, which is really cool. So before the pandemic happened, I was creating a team. So I had a few other guys. I do have a partner that helped me out for the nonprofit. My guy Scott, and also my guy John Lorenzo. So shout out to them, and also Chris Martin. So from Winslow, they helped me out too. So
is it just because I was asking Brandon is trying to get my mind together. Is it a program?
Yeah,
it's like a curriculum.
Yeah.
So you take how are the kids selected? Like, how do you, is it recommended to you through principals or superintendents?
So it's a mixture of both. I have some kids that are recommended to me through principals, through administrators, through counselors that also need help. Different teachers, different students. Sometimes a kid may come to me themselves, outside parents and stuff like that. Like I have a young kid that's in Williamstown right now. His family, is going through certain things. He kind of reminds me of myself, really good in basketball, real smart and all that type of stuff, but he just needed a little bit of help. So me and him, legit, every Wednesday at 4 o'clock, me and him were on Zoom, and we keep a journal together. We're writing out our goals for the day, talking about homework, talking about life outside of basketball. It's days where when we were in the pandemic, I had to go out and buy an Xbox, and me and him were playing Xbox together. Just got the camera set up, and
and you're
just
like,
trying to be there for
work.
him. Yeah, so
This
it's
is
work,
great,
but I love it though, man. It really helps me out, and it's like a full circle moment because Mr. Latirza was patient with me. And he sacrificed a lot. He had a family. He had kids. He was married, and he would sacrifice his time when he could have easily went home at 2:30. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it's only right that I do that for them.
For sure. Yeah. I want to give
That's truly awesome, man. I didn't know the scope of it. It's really really
I want
cool.
to give the ultimate context to like why it's crazy that he's doing what he's doing now. Because I want you to tell the story of like how your love for the kids that you were working with, whether you were mentoring them or training them, ultimately led you to retire. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the moment that sticks out to me. Like, yo, he really is about this.
Yeah. This is heavy.
Story.
This is heavy right here.
Story.
So I was trying out with a team in Greece called Lavrio. And this team was like a new team. They started out, had money. It was really good. So I was with them for 3 months. And this is before I left to go play in Cyprus. So I remember we just played a couple, they call it friendly games, but they're really like scrimmages. So I'm heading back to the hotel. I'm driving, and I'm like legit. It's like in a movie. Like I'm driving across the Mediterranean. I'm looking at the water and all that type of stuff, sunset. And my phone would still work out there. Shout out to T-Mobile. We love you guys. y'all are the best.
I was going to say, when I was overseas too, I studied abroad for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Bro, I was like, oh, AT&T is ass.
Yes, it's terrible.
It was bad in New Jersey.
Yes.
I literally went over there. I was like, T-Mobile right now.
T-Mobile.
So sorry, go ahead. Yep.
So, the plan that we have, I would work and, I could still FaceTime. I could talk to my kids directly and all that. So I remember driving, looking at the Mediterranean, going back to the hotel, and I get a phone call. And one of my students or one of the kids I mentor, he called me, and he was calling me crying, like hysterically, like FaceTime. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And he was just like, my dad just got, hit with stage 4, cancer or whatever like that. And, he legit told me that he felt like he was going to commit suicide. And I remember, like, first of all, I'm like, you're calling me? Like, it takes you back because, like, you don't understand you're important. You're who you are. And I feel like everybody is a human. You got to understand your role. Everybody's role is different. All 3 of our roles as human beings are different. And once you understand that, that's when we grow and get better. So I had to take a step back, and I'm like, yo, you really want to talk to me? I didn't say that to him, but I'm, And from there, man, we were on FaceTime all night. He's 6 hours ahead of me. I'm 6 hours ahead of him, and we're just talking all night. And from there, he's a lot better. The next morning I got a chance to call his guidance counselor, get him the proper help and everything else like that. But shout out to this kid. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's doing really great. He graduated.
Okay, good.
He went to the military. He's doing really good. He's married now. He's doing a great job. But when I was laying in my bed at the hotel, I was just like, yo, these kids need me. And I remember when I decided to go to Austria, and this was out of nowhere. I just finished working a camp with the NBPA's office, doing a lot of stuff. I'm traveling back from New York, and I have tryouts and practice that night at Highland High School. So I pull up and I tell like all my kids that I trained and all the kids that's part of our basketball academy that I'm about to leave. And legit, I'm seeing high school kids, younger kids, even parents like upset, like looking like they're about to cry. And I remember talking to, she was my girlfriend, but my now fiance. I was just like, this probably is going to be my last year because I'm really starting to see like how I'm affecting people's lives. Man. So I still could have played, but I was just like, it's not there for me. In my last game, and we lost in the playoffs in Austria, I was just like, I'm good. I ain't cry, I ain't do nothing. I was like, I'm good.
Well, you just saw that it's amazing what passion can make you do. You just see that. Like, I think it's also easier to say for sure, like, money is a very subjective thing
Yeah.
to what it brings to your life, and if you know that you don't need that much, happiness has a very different perspective.
Oh, for sure.
In your life. And I think coming back to your community is, I mean,
It's the best thing you could ever
being a
do.
local, leader
For me,
is
like,
amazing.
The biggest thing I tell this to people all the time is, it's like, if you're not trying to leave your legacy, I can't even be around you as a person, because like I want something that's like, if I'm not even here anymore, like, I could die tomorrow. Like, one thing about Kobe, like, he left his legacy. Like, he changed the game, not even just basketball. He changed, the acting game, screenwriting, writing plays, all that type of stuff, writing the books. Even we did, for women's basketball. Like, I know now, like, I'm not gonna be on this earth forever. I have to do something that like leaves a long-lasting impact to help these kids out and just help people out in general.
Man, I mean, I think it was important.
It's a great story, bro.
Yeah, it was important.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very cool.
I think, again, you grew up wanting to play basketball your whole life, and there's like 1% of people in the world can say they were ever like really a professional athlete. Like, and we're talking like real professional leagues, not like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you were second division, top of the top. You play against Kyle. Like, you have all these amazing moments playing basketball, but like, what really has allowed you to make your impact was giving back to your community.
For sure.
And that's something that made you on the spot say, yo, this is it. And most importantly, be comfortable with it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not many people can do that, but it goes to show how passionate you are about being in this space of being a real mentor. Because y'all always had the camp, and that's amazing, but you're able to like specifically touch a lot of these kids' lives every single day, to the point where a kid calls you and you're the first person that he calls when he finds out his dad has stage 4 cancer and he's about to commit suicide, and now you have to be the one to talk about that ledge.
Tremendous amount of responsibility.
Yeah,
And I wanted to ask you, like, what do you say in that moment to that kid at that time? Like, how do you even muster up the words to like even try to help him at that moment?
I take a step back. I try to calm them down. I keep it, of course, positive.
Yeah.
But once I think one of the things I'm very blessed for, a lot of people and a lot of kids, they kind of look up to me as if like I'm, this I don't even know. And
But you've accomplished what they want to accomplish.
Yeah.
You're humble about it, but like you got paid money to play basketball.
Right.
What kid doesn't grow up dreaming of
For
being
sure.
able to do that? Yeah.
For sure. But it's like, once I tell them the things that I've been through, it's like it hits home for them. And I tell them, like, I had certain thoughts. I went through certain things. So once I share that with them, the rest is history. Yeah. And it's, I have one kid that, at a high school, he just came out of nowhere. His mom, put me in touch with him, but he was just like, I just want somebody to just play basketball with me. He said, if I do that, I'll get my grades up, I promise you. I said, all right, no problem. We can
And I'm gonna give you this work too.
Yeah, right, for sure. But he's just like,
you will lose to me every day until you beat me.
Exactly.
Yep.
He's like, after school, my mom's always working. I'm by myself. He moved. He's like, I don't have friends like that. So I just need, if you can just play basketball with me a couple of days out the week, I got you. I'll get my grades up. I said, let's do it.
Wow. What's the best way for if kids want to reach right out to you? Is it through your Instagram? Do you have an email? What's the best way?
Instagram, I'm cool. I'm very, I try to be very, active on Instagram, social media. Let's just say Instagram right now. I know a lot of kids don't really have Facebook right now.
He's like, we're still young here.
I got TikTok coming in,
hey,
let's say, probably.
This will come out after Past to Present. They're on TikTok too, bro. You gotta get on TikTok, bro.
So, B, we gotta talk about some stuff for
Absolutely.
TikTok, bro. So.
Can you plug up the Instagram, like where people can find you?
Yeah, Instagram is 32 Ty Hines. If you're interested, it could be about hoops, it could be about life, mentoring, whatever. Just send me a message on there, and I definitely respond. I'm not no type of guy where I'm not going to hit you back. I definitely hit you back and try to help you out any way I can.
Awesome stuff, bro. I don't know, bro. I know you were supposed to end, but I actually want to continue. If that's cool with you.
No, that's
I
totally
want to
fine.
really because we talked about the mentor stuff, but it's like, yo, we got some stuff cooking, bro. We got some stuff cooking, so maybe we can talk.
We'll give it the 1 cent. BCTV Media.
Yeah.
Give me the
we had planned on the hour, but the gems he dropping, we gotta keep
No,
going.
I agree. I've got a couple more things I want to talk about, so give us 1 sec. Stop snitching.
All right, we back. So,
Yes, sir.
before we set back up, we were just talking because he had brought up how his parents, unfortunately got divorced, and obviously I had the same situation. Although I was 2, so I've never known my parents to be together, and it's crazy to the point, I don't know if I've ever said this, it's crazy to the point where when I was young, I actually thought it was weird when people had both parents at their house. I was like, I assumed that they didn't work, because I thought that's why my mom and dad didn't live together, because they were working. They never sat me down, were like, we divorced because of this, because I was so young.
For sure.
So I would go over to his house, and at first I'm like, I would be like, why do you have both your parents at your house? Like, that's weird.
This traditional white family just making lasagna. Right, exactly.
But it's like, it's interesting because it's kind of like low-key traumatic for anybody's parents not to be together.
For sure.
And what I wanted to ask you is, have you ever like regretted that you weren't able to experience having 2 parents in the household, or is it something that has made you better overall?
Man, it's crazy because I tell people this all the time, and they look at me so weird, but I tell them that, like, my parents getting divorced changed my life forever, for the better. Like, I went from being a kid that was, and I have 2 great parents, man, that sacrificed so much, that have done so much. Even though they got divorced, they will always be at my games, always, be there to make things happen, putting food on the table, clothes, all that stuff. That they did the best they can. But I just remember that I went from being a kid that was playing with Pokemon cards to now I had like man responsibilities. Like, I had to at night make sure all the doors was locked and the alarm system was on. I had to do certain things that the average 12-year-olds don't have to do. And I remember like kind of like drawing away from my friends because I'm like, I don't have nothing in common with you guys anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to go home and watch my sister, and you guys are about to go to, do whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm
Get
saying?
slushies
Like,
at Wawa, play basketball,
exactly.
throw up, and go home. Yeah.
So it was different, but I think it made me appreciate my parents more. It made me understand that life is not perfect, but even though life is not perfect, you got to do whatever you can do to, be the best you can. And also gave me that work ethic and kind of lit a fire underneath me. So I use that as motivation. I would look at my friends and see their parents around and during holiday seasons and all that, and I just use that as motivation. And now being 30 years old and, being engaged, and I tell my fiance all the time, like, I'll plan on being you for a long time. So, I really, like you were saying, it really taught me a lot.
I'm sure that sparked your love for community, because you understand what it's like to have people come together for you. Unlikely people,
right?
That's not directly related to you. They might not even be the same color as you.
Exactly.
But, like, we're all in this together, and we're all in the Sicklerville community together. So I'm sure that helped to spark at least a little bit, like, your passion for being a mentor.
Yeah, for sure.
Got you to this point, for sure.
For sure, man. I had like Mike's parents that helped me out. A lot of my other boys' parents, Ron's parents. Even Coach Rich, head coach at Timber Creek. He would legit. He lived in Sicklerville. He lived in Sicklerville. Then he worked at St. Joe's. Everybody knows. Shout out to St. Joe's. That's Brandon's peeps. Shout out to St. Joe's. He worked at St. Joe's. He would take that commute every single day. He'll come back to Sicklerville, pick me up. And I was playing on DeJuan Wagner's AAU team called the DeJuan Wagner's Rising Stars. We were like sponsored by Nike. It was like top notch, everything.
He's probably the biggest name to come out of Camden or South Jersey.
He's the man. But he would take me from, after a long day at work, he would take me from Sicklerville back to Pennsauken, for practice, and then wait for practice and, take me home. So I didn't appreciate that until I got older and started doing certain things for kids, and, just people like that, like him changed my life. So.
And then you have this ability to kind of take your life story, build it into your passion as a mentor, build that as a business that you really like to do. But then the first thing I see on your Instagram is that you're a Lululemon ambassador.
Yeah.
So can we just talk about like the one, that's cool. What's that? Actually, you guys were doing a shoot that day that I was running, right?
Yeah.
Around the water?
Yeah, yep.
With the other dude, I don't know who he is.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was at Cooper, right?
Yeah, I was at Cooper. I was running around.
Yep.
That was also one of the first days, which was funny, where you came up to me and you're like, oh, hey, Nate. I was like, hello, Tyler.
Right.
I've never spoken to you before.
Right.
But like, so, I mean, not the the nitty gritty, but like creating your own personal brand, connecting with Lululemon, like how does that connection happen?
It's crazy, man. Me and Mike were in Toronto for the first time, ever
Shout
being
out to
there.
Mike Martin.
Yeah, Mike
The
Martin,
boy.
my guy,
Yes,
worldwide
sir.
Mike. So we're in Toronto walking around, and legit on this nice street. I might have been bar hopping, whatever. And we're walking, and this lady just comes out, and she says, "Hey, you guys know what Lululemon is?" And we're like, "No." And like we're thinking something's wrong. And she's like, "You guys want to try on some clothes?" And we're like, "Yeah." So she brings us in, and man,
You've never heard of Lululemon? Was this like a
Never.
couple of years ago, or you
this
just
was like back
hadn't
in
been
like
exposed?
2014,
Oh,
like
it's probably
2013.
brand new then. Yeah.
So it was just crazy, like everything they had going on, and just the people there were so nice and just so whatever. But you know how you meet people, and then they say they're going to keep in touch, and then they don't.
Yeah.
Well, they kept in touch, and not only did they keep in touch, but they invited us to go to Jamaica to go do a school build and go build like houses for like the less fortunate and build a school for the less fortunate. So like we just created so many different
But they picked
resources.
you off the street?
They picked us off the street, bro.
Did
But
they say like obviously physique wise, we want you guys to be
I'm sure
in this
that us
fit?
being tall and all that type of stuff had a little bit
I
to
was
do
gonna
with
say you're
it.
sitting out in a seat,
But after they started having conversation with us and started picking our brain and asking us what we do and what we're here for, what we got going on, where we're from, they just fell in love with us, and we fell in love with them, and the rest is history. And then from there, I was able to stay close to the brand. I built a relationship with a couple of local stores. The one in Sagemore, that's actually the store that I'm an ambassador for, and the rest is history. I was granted the opportunity. I want to say, what was it, August? And from there, man, it's been great. They've been so supportive with anything and everything I have going on.
BCTV Media has been supporting in that a little bit too.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
I mean, yeah, for sure. So we definitely got some things cooking, but it's around because you got to understand, like, it's not just about being a Lululemon ambassador, because like I always say, most people think that and think, oh, you get free stuff. Like,
Right, that's first thing they think
way
about.
bigger. So talk about the main reason why, you're using this platform to help the community, and like how important it is for, I guess, kids like us to understand that even though we think of Lululemon, we think of high price but comfortable clothes, but like talk about the community aspect of it and how you're using it to like unite people of all communities and stuff.
Definitely. So one thing about all three of us, at one point in time, we had to get out of our comfort zone to become who we are today. That's what Lululemon has done for me since day one. I'm looking at the brand. I'm looking at the people that's modeling the brand. I'm like, these people don't look like me. They're not basketball players. They're not tall. They're yoga teachers. They're runners. They're this. They're that. But they kind of transformed my life. And I said one of the things I was going to do when I turned 30 was really get out of my comfort zone. Brandon laughs at me all the time because one of the things I did was I was doing paddleboard yoga. Paddleboard yoga. I'm 6'7", and I'm like the only black guy there. But I'm doing paddleboard yoga with a bunch of other ambassadors and a bunch of other random people, and it was just the greatest time ever, man. I had so much fun. I was at peace. It was cheering me on. It was so positive.
What is paddleboard yoga?
Man, it's basically yoga, but you're on the lake and you're doing it on a paddleboard.
On the water?
On the water.
Different.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sure your core must be going crazy.
It
after
was.
you leave
And I
there.
was,
oh my God!
And I don't know how to swim that good, so I was sitting there scared. But they were like legit helping me out, and just changing my mind mentally. And that's one of the things I say to a lot of my students. Like, you have to change your perspective. You have to change your mindset. You have to, they're very diverse. They're this, and that's the thing that helped me, grow their whole culture and everything behind it. So, just as simple as this. Back in December, a lot of kids in our area, they don't know anything about giving back to the community. So what I did, I created this whole campaign like, hey, let's buy toiletries and stuff for the less fortunate, for the homeless, and then, we can give them away. We can donate it. So it could be $5, it could be $10, it could be $50, whatever it is. And you can legit go to the dollar store, Dollar General, and just buy these items. And from there, I was getting so many crazy donations from parents, from kids, and I had like, because of COVID, I probably would have had like 50 kids out there, but I was only able to have 12. And, BC was there. So we got a chance to, teach them how to give back. They're making blessing bags for the homeless and all that, and doing certain other things. And Lululemon, they helped out tremendously. They gave us a nice donation, gave us bags. Other ambassadors came. Shout out to James, shout out to Sarah.
Yep.
And it was just an amazing time. So that's what it's really all about. So they're
That's
helping
awesome.
me grow. I'm helping them grow. And, I just love the partnership that we have.
And so much of that, you just right place, right time.
Yeah, oh,
right.
for sure.
Sometimes it's not harder than
For
that.
sure.
You just get to be who you got to be, stick yourself in that moment, and go.
For
That's
sure.
awesome.
And they clothes is fire too. Right now.
Oh, is this Lululemon right here?
I'm Lululemon too. Yeah, it's Lululemon right here. So
Bro, I
that's
need
all.
some running shorts. Where I gotta go to Sage more?
I got you.
Say
I got you.
less.
Say less. B got the pants on
I got
too.
the pants on. They
Oh,
gave
come
this
on,
to
man.
me
This
for the
this is
live.
this is Mr. Brand right here.
Yes,
Come
yeah.
on, man.
Come on, man. But nah, it's crazy because like you said, we're working on a series. We're not gonna reveal the title yet.
Yeah,
we actually just got done shooting this. Now we just
Yeah.
gotta chop it up. But it's basically centered around using the Lululemon platform to bring people together of all communities, all races, all ethnicities, and it's basically just him being him. You know what I'm saying? And just showing how, again, it doesn't matter where you came from. You know, it doesn't matter what your story is. We all have, we all should have that connection of just wanting to be good people to each other and wanting to be there for each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what it's around. And it's really cool, man. Like, it shows the different aspects of, like, different people he's touching the community and how he's, like, a guiding light that a lot of people look up to. As you talked about in the podcast, you told us stories of kids hitting you up, but then I've been able to see like grown men still come to you.
Yeah.
Like when we were in the lab and Ed was like asking you all these questions, like, yo, he looks up to you and he's older than you.
Yeah, that's big bro. Shout out
You know
to
what I'm
Ed.
saying? So it's just
Ed Deuces?
Yeah, dude.
He'll be on the
everybody-
podcast soon as well. Yes,
Oh, my
sir.
God.
I just connected with him. My boy.
Yo, he be working, bro.
what's
He
up.
be working. But it's just important because it's like, man, like, if there's anything that I think people could leave this interview with, it's like, embrace where you're from.
Exactly.
For so long, even when we were in high school.
Well, wherever you're from is cool, bro.
Exactly.
You don't got to be from LA County
Exactly.
to be cool.
Yeah.
Like, anytime anybody's ever hit me up off of this, they never know where I'm from. It doesn't matter.
Right,
they
right.
just like you.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, look at any stars like now in the digital age that you like. They're from Idaho,
for
Ohio,
sure.
Montana.
Random places.
Then they moved to California. They
Exactly.
moved to Florida. They moved to wherever. But like, what got them there is their authenticity of who they are.
Exactly.
You're not some cookie cutter version of whatever else you're supposed to be.
Exactly, and that was my main thing. I just always wanted to be authentic, and I always just wanted to show, my area, the identity that we have around us, and we have so many great resources, and that's what Lululemon. I want to bring change to, just the mindfulness, the health, the wealth, even the type of food places we have in the area, and we're just trying to change all that and try to bring just a lasting effect to the community. And the best thing, and I know B was saying this, is that I have so many great kids, people, everybody that's around me, but they always talk about what I do for them, but they don't understand how much they do for me. Like, just like anybody else, like, I'm human. I have my bad days, I have my low days, I have days I'm insecure, days I'm upset, days I'm whatever. There's days I want to be in a room by myself, you know what I'm saying, not even talking to nobody. But then when I go to the gym and I see a little kid that comes up and gives me a hug, like, Coach Tyler, guess what? I got honor roll today, or I got this, or whatever. It makes everything worth it. And that's what kind of keeps the fire lit. So, perfect for me.
Yeah, let me do some, because this is great.
Yeah.
I just want to end it so people get a little bit more of the fun side of you. Because you're fucking hilarious. You're fun. You're great now, but I will say, if you had to talk to him off camera, he's great. Let me throw some rapid fire at you, okay?
Okay.
AI, overrated, underrated.
Underrated.
Oh, I was about to say
Bad.
overrated.
That's the reason why I play basketball.
Is AI your favorite basketball player?
Yes, sir.
Are the Sixers your favorite basketball
Yes,
team?
sir.
Okay. Is Ben Simmons overrated or underrated?
Damn, I gotta say misunderstood.
Oh man, you're throwing a third one at me. I've always felt the same way about him. Now, is Joelle overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Right now?
Right now.
With his current performance? Underrated?
Underrated.
Wow.
Still underrated.
You think it's
because-
going to be MVP?
Oh, hell yeah. But the people don't gotta understand that Joel Embiid only been playing basketball for less than 7 years.
Yes.
Like, people don't understand
He started
that.
playing when he was, what,
And then
19?
you gotta understand that out of those 7 years, 2 of them he was hurt. So what's that, 5 years?
Then I wanted to know favorite color.
Damn, I would say red.
Red?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I haven't gotten a
See
red
red,
before.
man,
What's your
like-
favorite color?
Red.
I don't know, blue.
Yeah,
don't know.
this is my favorite color.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blue. Everybody
Blue,
look
you
good
can't
behind
never
this.
go wrong with blue. I picked
Blue
red
and
because
black.
Mom Duke said I always look nice in red. So yeah,
That's what that. Shout
With
out
the
Mom
Mom
Dukes,
Dukes.
man.
Yeah.
Yo, his mom is the most amazing person ever. Like, she hit me up for my birthday, bro.
Cause she
I
loves
was
you,
like,
man.
She was like, "Happy birthday, P. I love you." I'm like, wow. But that's
she
what we were
love him.
talking about. It's like,
Right.
you just get moms and dads out of nowhere just because
sure.
people just
Yeah, they
embrace
pull
you.
up.
Yeah.
They see something in you and they embrace you. And that's why, like, it's so important what you're doing, because these kids don't have that.
Right.
And they definitely don't understand the concept of it.
Right.
So they need somebody to show them. So the fact that you were able to come here and break all that down, and
Right.
we didn't even get into everything, like,
Right.
you go on and on, but I think, again, like, just embrace your community, embrace people around you, love on people, and don't be a dick.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
don't be a dick.
But real quick too, I gotta give y'all flowers, man. Y'all are I really didn't even know much about you guys, especially being in high school, even when I was in college and stuff like that. But learning more about you, and I remember meeting you, probably at Mike's backyard or
Yeah,
something like that,
probably.
being young. And I remember, first time we met.
Still tall as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, he had the Rita's water ice trucks in the back of the crib, bro. I still remember that, Joe.
Yeah,
Yo, it's
man.
different.
But just, all of us being Timber Creek grads, all of us, doing great things in our lives, being the best we can for our families, all being from, the same place, but being in, different directions and all that. And it's amazing. So I just want to say, for me, I appreciate y'all because, these kids, this is what they need to see. They need to understand that, like, being from here, you can be whatever you want, but, just keep going, man. And that's what y'all doing, man.
Yeah.
So
We trying to grow, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thing, highlight the
Lululemon, talk to me.
Yeah,
got
Lululemon,
y'all,
Sheesh.
man. You know we
sponsor
here.
could get in with. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
I got the pants on.
But I just wanted to. It was a great episode.
Yeah.
I wanted to start to end it by just throwing it back to the guest. Is there anything that's out of everything that we talked about? Is there something else? Is there just something that you want to bring up? Something you want to say? So a message you want to send to somebody while you got the platform?
Man, I would just say whoever's watching this, just continue to network, use your resources. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And, that it's going to take you a long way. Once you turn 18, 18, go get that passport, man, and start traveling, man. Start, hopefully when COVID dies down, we get a chance to, do different things and travel and get back to some type of normalcy. But, just meet different people, be a part of different cultures, travel different places. And just, there's life outside of Sicklerville, but take those things that you learn from other places and come back and apply it to our lives and apply it to our community in Sicklerville because they need it. In other surrounding communities they need it. And this new generation, man, I say it over and over, they're going through so much, and I don't even understand if I could have been going through what they go through now, if I could even take what they're going through. So we got to be support systems for everybody, especially for these youth. So that's really it.
Turn 18. Where should they go? What's your favorite place in the world?
Turn 18. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Let's go to Greece, man.
Bro,
come to Greece.
I studied abroad as well. I'm sorry to bring this up again. Greece is the most. I think people see, what is it, Mykonos or whatever, with the white house. Bro, it's so much more than that.
It's so much
Greece
more.
is my favorite, next to Israel.
Israel,
where I've ever been.
Yeah.
Greece is truly, like you said, you're driving down, it looks like that all the time.
Yep.
I'm so happy you
It's
said
amazing.
that, bro. I miss it.
I still
best
got so
food,
many
best
friends there.
people. You want to talk about community, culture, everything there. Oh,
everything.
I'm so happy you said it. Hey, thank you for watching listening to the Stop Snitching podcast. Thank you for Tyler Hines to be on BCTV Media.
You already know, man.
Well, it's just BC. B-Rock.
Produced by BCTV.
If you see him, just say what's up. Please share, subscribe, comment, like all that good stuff. We appreciate all the listeners, and we'll see you next time.
Yes,
Stop
sir.
snitching.
Stop snitching, baby.
Snitching.
Stop snitching.